So I had an old teacher that told me, he said, pouring aluminum is like taking a drink of milk. Pouring bronze is like having a beer, and pouring iron is like having a shot of bourbon. And he's right.
So you like bourbon the best?
I do.
Awesome.
It takes a special kind of person to make this type of art.
We're at Sculpture Trails. My name is Gerry Masse. I'm the founding director, and I guess this is my big crazy mess.
This big crazy mess attracts Hoosiers across Indiana as well as 3D artists across the nation, all to the small town of Solsberry.
We are pretty much in the middle of Indiana, about 50 miles south of Indianapolis, 15 minutes west of Bloomington.
Inside these molds are one-of-a-kind works of art that will eventually find their home along the Sculpture Trail, an outdoor museum nestled in the woods with over 180 cast iron sculptures along 3 miles of well-maintained hiking trails.
The one thing about the trails is it'll always be here, open and free. So bring your families out when you have nothing to do. It's a great place for a walk, enjoy nature. And it's a cool place to see some sculpture that has been made by artists that are still alive and kicking and want to make more.
While many come here just to walk the trail, tonight Gerry and his team of artists are putting on a show.
Tonight is our biggest event of the whole year. When we cast iron, we will usually do it at nighttime because it's really dangerous and we really don't want the public around when we do it, just for liability. But at the same time, we want to show the public what's going on. So this one night of the year we call Fire at Night is the one time we let the public come on out and celebrate with us the end of a month of creating cast iron with artists from around the world. You can come out early and carve some scratch blocks and make a relief sculpture. We have a bowl mold that you could carve into and create a cast iron bowl. Of course, there is a lot to see and just hang out and watch. So a lot of folks love that. And this will be probably our last pour, putting us over 30,000 pounds of metal for the whole month. So that's a lot of metal for a bunch of young artists to be casting out in the middle of nowhere. It's fun to watch.
So, what goes into making one of these cast iron sculptures?
So an artist will show up with a pattern and they show up and say, hey, we want to cast this in iron. So we will take sand molds and build a mold around it. Then we'll pull the pattern out, put the mold back together, and then we'll create a gating system where the metal can be poured and vented. And then boom, we turn it into metal. Now, once it's metal, they still have, hundreds of hours to grind it, chase it, finish it, get it installed. So even though it's cast, it still has a long way to go.
Everyone you see in orange shirts are actually interns. All of these artists have been here for weeks preparing molds for today's event.
So our internship program, they get to come in, they get to build a piece, and if it gets into the exhibition, it can be on showing for 2 years. They'll have the experience of around 60,000 pounds of sand mold making, multi-part mold making. The big problem for young artists is money. So that's our big goal, is to reduce their financial burden and give them a ton, actually 15 tons of experience.
Apparently, all this came to be because Gerry simply ran out of space.
At the beginning of all this in 2002, I make sculptures, a lot of my buddies make sculptures, and I was literally putting them out on the property, kind of to store them a little bit, with the intention of maybe we'll create some kind of a museum, and it sure has blown this community up. Everybody's really excited about the Sculpture Trails, and we're excited for the next 20 years. Whether we promote it or not, everybody's showing up. Artists keep applying, so it's become one of these things that's just growing and growing and growing without us involved at all. It's just a beast that's started. Like, we never even sat down and decided to do this. It just exploded into something.
Want to get involved? Gerry says there are several ways Hoosiers can help.
Best thing to do if you want to get involved is go right into the website, sign up with the contact list, volunteer list, throw $1 in the donation box, throw some sticks off the path, and make sure you follow us on Instagram so you know what's going on.